Hey everyone, Brian from Spicy Astro Bytes here. Thanks for joining me. This is my first video, so if you're new here, you're not alone. You may be thinking to yourself, what is Spicy Astro Bytes? Spicy Astro Bytes is actually a play on three of my favorite hobbies, three of the things I'm the most passionate about at this time. And I say that because I jump from hobby to hobby as if that were a hobby in itself. But anyway, Spicy um, has to do with gardening and more specifically growing hot peppers. So I hope to share content that has to do with the challenges of growing plants in general, but also more specifically growing in Arizona in the desert areas. Astro, if you haven't noticed, has to do with astrophotography. Now, I'm not like a physicist or an astrophysicist or anything like that. I approached the whole concept of astronomy from a photography perspective. I've always been interested in photography, but this kind of took it to a whole new level. And Bytes is in relation to what I do for a living, which is programming. And so I hope to share some content there where I'm a little bit more uh, familiar with, and I could hopefully be more helpful with. The Spicy and Astro bit of things is going to be more of a learning experience for myself and viewers, hopefully. So today I wanted to share with you my garden setup, and so I'm gardening in the deserts of Arizona. So it's very warm. There's a lot of wildlife that you sort of have to compete with because they don't see any green plant life except for these Palo Verde trees. And they don't see anything that's really leafy except for what people are growing in their backyards. So there's a lot of protection that I have built in for my gardens, and I'll kind of walk through what I've done. So I have quite a few different setups because I just started growing peppers and tomatoes and other plants indoors. And when that happens, if anyone who's done that before will probably attest to, is the fact that you sort of get in over your head when they're small, right? You kind of are able to, you could fit 150 plants in a really small area. But once it becomes time to transplant them outside, you start to run out of space fast. And I actually probably crowded things a bit too much in my garden. But I'll kind of turn this around and give you an idea of what I've got going on here. This is a fully enclosed garden. So you can see these beds are about 3 feet wide, and I'm growing mostly super hot peppers. So these are like the um, Chinense peppers, I believe I'm saying that right, with a few volunteers here and there, some companion plants. I've got some onions that are still holding out in this heat, and marigolds, some mint, things like that. Yeah, the tomato plants aren't doing so well right now, simply because it's too hot. We're 100 plus, close to 110, going back and forth between 100 and 110 up where I'm at. So what I did here, and maybe I'll make another video for this specifically, but everything is enclosed. Like I said, I use this 1/4 inch hardware cloth um, from top to bottom, and it's kind of a mess in here, but uh, some people ask, are you worried about rodents or things digging in from outside? And Yeah, I was. So that's why I actually took some of that hardware cloth that you see here on the walls, and I actually put it at the base of the beds. Of course, they could dig in, around the door or dig further into the actual ground here. I didn't protect it there on the ground, but see, I've got a rat trap there just in case. But I haven't actually seen any activity in here, so it's kind of nice. And in fact, um, it's kind of been maybe a little bit too protected because I've had a hard time getting pollinators in here, such as bees. Or they'll get in here, and then I like to tell people it's like they get drunk off of the pollen, and they have a hard time getting out. Eventually they do, but I think they've maybe started to figure it out. If you can see that happy little bee there. So yeah, that's kind of what I've got going on for my enclosed garden. There's roughly 67, 70 plants in there. And I actually have probably see it a little bit, a 50% shade on top that I keep on year round because the sun is just so brutal here in Arizona. I ended up extending the bed out a little bit, in a sense, to accommodate some more plants on the outside here. And these don't have a shade on them, but they seem to be doing okay. This is something that you'll see a lot if you're in Arizona. This pepper plant is just getting roasted right now. I think it's just sort of its natural reaction to the heat to maybe help protect itself, or it's just suffering. So I don't know, but usually what happens is as soon as the direct sun is off of them and the temperatures cool down just a little bit, they'll actually bounce back and look normal again. So I think at this point, if they've survived the heat and the sun, we're in pretty good shape. And then this, kind of ducking down because this is a little I call it my nursery. This is kind of where my overflow is. Like I was saying before, when you start your own seeds inside, it's really easy to go overboard. This is the result of that. So I actually had to get this chicken run off of Facebook Marketplace, and some of these nice like greenhouse tables, and then of course all these fabric cloth bags, pots, or whatever you want to call them, and put all my extra pepper plants in. Then I had to run more irrigation over here, so I'll probably do another video to talk about watering and how I have it set up, and things that I've learned from mistakes that I've made and research I've done. So anyway, there you have it. That's what I've got going on. I know this video isn't all that interesting. I've just kind of I wanted to show you my garden and also introduce to you what Spicy Astro Bytes was all about. But if you like the idea of what this channel could be, please like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll have some more substantive videos, some more interesting videos to share with you. And well, that's the idea, at least, right? So if you're on board with it, please like and subscribe. Thanks.